I think that's such a big thing also when it comes to the idea of rape culture, is that rape is about sex, but it's not. Rape is about power.
Do you think what kind of things do you think um like you can say to your partner to begin that dialogue
Um,
as a female? Like if you don't feel comfortable talking, saying to a guy, this hurts, or like I'm not into this right now, like what how do you go about standing up for yourself in those situations?
well, one thing that I always say to girls when, because people have like messaged me after I post things about like why you should get a vibrator and like stuff like that, like sexual health articles. And then, girls will ask me, they're like, well, I don't feel comfortable doing that, or like, how do I do this? And so I think the first step always, especially for women, because we have so many, I don't know, I guess discrepancies when it comes to sexual pleasure, whereas guys, it's a little bit easier. It's pretty straightforward. Um,
Seems a lot easier. Like a manual to like a guy in bed would be like a one-page manual. You know what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
for
Like
girls, it's like it could be like a three-series novel. Like
it's
every woman is
specific to each
different.
girl too. Like you
Totally.
gotta learn. You gotta learn.
Which is it's good in some ways because then it allows for like a lot of sexual exploration and things like that. But I do think that like discovering what you like first, whether that means like with your, three fingers, or whether that means a vibrator that you buy, or with like a pillow, or like whatever it is, like figuring out what you like first is going to be the first step to explaining when you don't like something. Because if something's happening to you for the first time, you wonder, is like, oh, is this what it's supposed to feel like? Or, oh, did I just have an orgasm because that felt good for 3 seconds? Or like whatever it is, like it's so much more confusing, I think, for women, which makes it that much harder to then explain what you want. Because how am I supposed to say like, oh no, don't do that, and then he's like, okay, well, like what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? So I think being able to express your wants and needs comes first, and then that is so empowering when it comes to actually being in a situation with someone else where you can guide them. And like every single time where like that's happened to me, like the guys always find it like really hot, and it's like oh my god, like yeah, she knows what she wants, like she can show me the way, whatever. And then they feel like a sex god because like all of a sudden they made you come. So it's like, I don't know, I think it's a good thing to know your body.
Absolutely. And to be able to assert yourself and be able to state exactly what you want is attractive. Like I feel like guys a lot of the time will maybe they'll get used to a girl like not asserting herself. So when she does, it's like surprising and new and sexy.
Totally. I don't know who a lot of guys who don't think it's sexy, and if they don't, then maybe they're not the one for you. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
Because I mean, frankly, like if they're not willing to take your advice, I guess is the best way to put it, then I don't really think they're that interested in making this like sexual connection like a love connection at all, or even like an experience that's good for you, right? It's like guys will be like, oh yeah, like you like that or whatever, but then if the second that you say you don't, and then they're like, what? And then they get upset about it, and it's like, wait, I thought you wanted me to like it. Like, isn't the whole point that this is a good experience for both of us? And like I think that's such a big thing also when it comes to the idea of rape culture, is that rape is about sex, but it's not. Rape is about power. And it's not really about the guy like getting off or whatever, although he does ultimately, but it's because it's hurting her and it's hurting the woman, and he is using his power and his dominance to assert that over her, because ultimately like sex is between two people, and it's about making both people feel good. At least it should be.